So in this session, we are going to talk about some small concepts which are applicable to capital gain, my dear friends. One point that I would like to tell you, I have created a summary of a situation where indexation benefit is not available on long-term capital asset. So obviously, when you transfer a short-term capital asset, you cannot talk about indexation benefit. The second most important area where indexation benefit is not available is a depreciable asset under section 50, where you are computing capital gain under a block method of asset. Block method of assets. According to PGBP chapter, you create a block for a particular assets, and whenever block ceases to exist, that time you compute a capital gain. Any recovery over a WDV value, selling price greater than the WDV value, that amount is directly a capital gain. Even though your assets are long term, you will not get any indexation benefit. Similarly, under section 50B, we don't get any benefit, which is section 50B slum sale. We don't get any benefit for indexation, even if our undertaking is a long term, because in section 50B, we don't subtract a particular asset cost, we subtract a net worth of undertaking. Because we subtract the net worth of undertaking, that net worth cannot be increased with the indexation benefit, because there are many assets which are included in the value of net worth. So depreciable asset, non-depreciable asset, short-term asset, long-term asset, financial asset, all the assets were included in the net worth. Therefore, you cannot apply indexation benefit on net worth. Now, just now we have finished a discussion of 112A. 112A is the STT paid long-term capital gain on Indian Stock Exchange, where the tax rate itself is 10%, and we give the benefit of grandfathering clause. What do you mean by grandfathering clause? You will get a benefit of fair market value as on 31st January 2018 as a cost, because government don't want to tax your gain retrospectively. They wanted to tax your gain prospectively. Therefore, Arun Jaitley sir, while announcing the budget, he said, whatever is the fair market value of your shares, which has arisen from date of acquisition to date of this 31st January 2018, up to this fair market value, there won't be any capital gain. Any gain which happens from today onwards will be liable to tax under 112A. Because we have already given you benefit of fair market value, obviously we cannot give you benefit of indexation. That will be a double benefit. Therefore, it is not available. Similarly, any long-term capital gain on bonds and debenture, any long-term, generally bonds and debenture doesn't get benefit of indexation, because we get a recurring revenue on bonds and debentures. Recurring revenue means in form of interest. Every year we earn some amount, and therefore indexation benefit is not available on bonds and debentures, except two bonds you have to remember. One is capital index bond. The name itself is capital index bond. Obviously, indexation benefit is available. And the second most important is RBI sovereign gold bond. If it is the RBI sovereign gold bond, then you will get a deduction. And therefore, you should remember this. Only two bonds which are eligible. That is, first is capital index bond, and second is RBI sovereign gold bond. So it is also important for multiple choice question. You should remember this. So let us summarize the tax rates. Let us summarize the tax rates of capital gain. Taxation of capital gain depends on these tax rates. First is taxation of short-term capital gain depends on slab rate, normal rate of tax. So it can also tax at the 30%, 25% if it is a company, partnership from flat 30%, individual up to 2.5 lakh, nil 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh 5%. So whatever is the normal tax rate which is there in the industry, this particular tax rate will apply to normal short-term capital gain. A normal long-term capital gain, a general normal long-term capital gain is taxable under section 112 at the rate of 20%. So 20% is a flat rate, special rate applicable to normal long-term capital gain. Sir, what about share market short-term capital gain? Share market short-term capital gain is taxable under 111A at the rate of 15%, whereas share market long-term capital gain, which is STT paid is taxable at the rate of 10%, that to exceeding 1 lakh with no indexation benefit. Please remember, whenever STT is not paid, you get two choices under section 112 on securities. If you take benefit of indexation, then you have to pay tax at the rate of 20%. If you, please understand, if you are paying tax on the securities which are on which STT is not paid, then without indexation you get 10%. Sir, in exam what should we do? Should we take indexation or should we not take indexation? So in exam you have to do both the calculation, 10% with indexation and 20% without 10% without indexation and 20% with indexation, and whichever is more beneficial for the assessee, whichever is more beneficial to the assessee, that you have to conclude as your final answer. No benefit of chapter 6A available against capital gain under section 111A, 112 and 112A, because these are the special incomes, and you know that chapter 6A benefit is not available against special income. It is available only against normal income. Okay. Now, before we could go ahead and talk about anything else, let me tell you one more point from set off and carry forward chapter. Here you are having a blank space. Use this particular space and please write down. You know this law. Okay. You know this law that long-term capital loss can be set off only against long-term capital loss can be set off only against long-term capital gain, and short-term capital loss can be set off only against short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain. Please understand this. So what I'm trying to tell you, this is the law. Please write down this first of all. Please write down this in this blank space, and let us try to understand why government have created law like this. Long-term capital tax rate, long-term capital gains tax rate is a 20%. Please understand, maximum tax rate is 20%. Whereas short-term capital gain may be taxable at the 30%. Therefore, government says, please understand, therefore, government says it very much clearly that short-term capital loss, which is the 30% category loss, 30% category loss can be set off against short-term capital gain, which is a 30% gain, or long-term capital gain, which is a 20% gain. Meaning thereby, you can set off your losses against short-term capital gain as well as long-term capital gain, because long-term capital gain tax rate was only 20%, whereas your loss was a 30% type of loss. Okay. But when it comes to long-term capital loss, government says, if I allow you to set off long-term capital loss against short-term capital gain, please understand what is happening here. If I allow to set off long-term capital loss against short-term capital gain, then your long-term capital gain, which is usually taxable at only 20%, so 20% category losses will be getting set off against 30% rate of capital gain. That we will not allow you to happen. This is 30% gain and this is 20% loss. A lower tax rate loss cannot set off against higher tax rate gain, but vice versa is possible. Higher tax rate loss can be set off against lower tax rate gain. So this law is created for the benefit of income tax. You have already remembered this, that long-term capital loss can be set off only against long-term capital gain. A short-term capital loss can be set off only against short-term capital gain or long-term capital gain. This is what you need to remember. One thing is for sure, capital losses cannot be set off against any other head. You cannot set off capital gain losses, capital gain heads losses, short-term loss and long-term loss against any other head of income, salary, house property, PGBP, IFS, no, not possible. Okay. Therefore, max to max, you can carry forward your losses. You can carry forward short-term capital loss and long-term capital loss for carry forward period is 8 years. If you are not able to set off, then you can carry forward it for 8 years. So this is also additional point that you should remember from capital gain chapter. Sir, do we get benefit of basic exemption limit? So primary answer is no. You don't get benefit of basic exemption limit. It's not available. Obviously, a benefit of basic exemption limit is not available against lottery income, against long-term capital gain, against short-term capital gain. But in India, there is a community which is a senior citizen community. Please understand, my dear friend, this senior citizen community sometimes survives only on their investment income. And if they don't have salary income, if they don't have business income, if they don't have rental income, and capital gain is the only income if they are having, or if they are having IFOS income and only to the tune of 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees, and they are having a lot of unexhausted basic exemption limit. What do you mean by unexhausted basic exemption limit? So total basic exemption limit minus normal income. Total basic exemption limit minus normal income, meaning thereby, if there is an individual who is having 2.5 lakh as a basic exemption limit and his normal income is only 1 lakh, so he can have 1,50,000 as the unexhausted basic exemption limit, which will be allowed to be set off, against short-term capital gain under 111A. So 111A minus unexhausted basic exemption limit, net gain multiply by 15%. Okay, long-term capital gain under 112 minus unexhausted basic exemption limit multiply by 20%. And if these two gains you don't have, you are having a short-term long-term capital gain from the share market, then long-term capital gain under section 112A minus 1 lakh, which is already exempted, minus unexhausted basic exemption limit, balance will be taxable at the rate of 10%. Given a choice, if all three gains are given to me, I will try to apply my unexhausted basic exemption limit against 20% first, then 15%, and then last priority will be given to 10%. So this is the rate. This is the sequence that you should remember. First, I will give the preference to 20% because higher tax should be given more. Higher rate of tax should give the first priority for basic exemption limit. Second, short-term capital gain because it is 15%. And third 10%. Okay. So this is the concept which is applicable only and only to the resident, individual and HUF. This benefit is not available to non-resident. Please understand, the concept of unexhausted basic exemption limit is applicable only to resident, individual and HUF. And because your syllabus is based on non-resident taxation is there in your syllabus so far as international taxation is concerned. So you need to remember that non-residents are not able to get some benefits which are exclusively available only and only for the resident assessee in India. So higher slab. So what do you mean by higher slab? That 3 lakh rupees and 5 lakh rupees higher slab, which is applicable to senior citizen and super senior citizen, is given only to the resident individual. Rebate which is given under 87A is given only to the resident individual. And basic exemption limit, unexhausted basic exemption limit, this benefit is also given only to the resident individual HUF, not for non-resident, assessee. So here I complete my capital gain chapter theoretically. Obviously, whenever we are going to encounter transaction which are given in business restructuring chapter, that time again we are going to discuss capital gain provision. And in total computation, we are going to talk about capital gain computation. We are going to talk about capital gain computation in NR taxes, special provision for non-resident. That time you need to know capital gain related provisions. We are going to solve set off and carry forward related question. That time you need to know capital gain related provisions. So capital gain can be targeted in exam either as an individual question, only capital gain, or capital gain can be merged with any other syllabus which is there in our whole study material. Okay, so please understand that capital gain chapter you cannot leave in option. You have to study it. This is one of the most important chapter, and if you do not understand capital gain, you will always find it difficult to understand rest of the syllabus of income tax law, assessment of various entities, and many other chapters. You will not have the comfort over those chapters. Okay.